I have so much trouble getting this thing to focus. Like, I'm here. I'm right here. See me. Here we go. Hi. Oh, that's cool. Hello friends, I'm so glad that you decided to come and join me today. I'm going to be talking all about my teaching journey and exactly how I got to where I am running HIJK Learn. Let's get started. And if you don't know me already, I'm Lauren from HIJK Learn. I'm an instruction and intervention coach, and I love getting to work with and talk to and empower teachers in whatever area of their journey they're in. If you end up liking this video, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up to let me know. And if you want to hang out with me even more, be sure to click subscribe. Okay, so I'll start in college. I went to school at UT Arlington. I am from Texas, born and raised, absolutely love it, and went to the university that is very close to where I grew up. Now, as a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, or so I thought. You may have already known, but I have 5 animals. We have 3 cats and 2 dogs, and no, the dogs are not little, and yes, the cats are crazy. And that's a whole story in and of itself, but I absolutely love it because I'm a big animal lover. So I wanted to be a vet when I was younger, and then that somehow turned into I wanted to be a pediatrician. And I think that it's just because I love kids, and I thought that like I wanted to help people on that avenue. So as a child vet, and then to pediatrician, and then once I got into college and started taking classes that had to do with biology, and then when we moved on to like dissections, I was out. Even like in high school when we had to dissect stuff, I never wanted to do it. I would like try to make someone else do it whenever we got to that point. I'm like, I can tell you what to do, but I cannot physically do it. I'll just gag and no bueno. Like I can watch Grey's Anatomy, duh, who can't? But if I had to like do something on somebody else, blood, stitches, speak of the animals, trauma, any of that jazz, I'm out. I can't do it. Like I cannot stomach it. So eventually I understood that that was not going to be my jam, and I switched my major to education, and I'm so glad that I did, because that is where my true passion lies. What did you want to be as a kid? Tell me in the comments, because I totally want to know. And I think it's so funny to see like what someone thought they were going to be doing when they were little and where they are now, because man. Okay, so from vet to pediatrician to education major, I ended up getting into all of my teaching courses and freaking loved it. I knew that that was like totally my jam. I was getting everything. I understood it, but I wanted more. It was just so fun to me. And then when we got to student teaching, I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous, but it was a freaking blast. I student taught in a 2nd grade class for 1 semester, or maybe like half the semester. I don't really remember how it went over there. I think it's like half a semester that you do like full-time student teaching. So I think I did half the semester in 2nd grade and then the other half in a 4th grade class. And they were 2 completely different experiences. One I loved and really got into and was really connected with the students, and the lead teacher just let me have free reign over the activities and different instruction techniques that I wanted to try or mirror or anything like that. And so it was great to get in there and really experience what it was going to be like having my own classroom, and she would really like allow me to try things and talk with her. So that was so cool. My other experience, let's just say it was the complete opposite. And so by the end of my student teaching, I was like, do I really want to do this? Because holy moly, I now know how I want to and how I don't want to run my classroom. So that was the good thing that I got out of a yicky experience, but it definitely like made me nervous. I threw on the brakes a little bit, I won't lie. But by that time, it was already like the end of my college career. I wanted to just go ahead and pursue it. I knew that I could make a difference with kids and impact little learners, and that was like a huge passion for me. So I went ahead and went through, got my degree, got my certification, and yeah, I ended up getting my first job shortly after. So I actually graduated in May, and then my first position was as a second grade teacher, and oh man, that was just like such a neat experience because the school took me on as a teacher and then let me know that in a few weeks they were going to be starting school in June. So I had just graduated like a month before and they were already going to start school. I think it was like K through 5, but only K through 3 did the Jump Start program. So that was pretty cool. So we started in June, and it was kind of a relaxed environment where the kids had like a little bit more freedom in their dress code because it was still technically summer for them. They had just gotten out of school, so they were really like relaxed about that. And I think it was less intimidating for the kids to be there, and they were less bummed about not having a ton of summer. And then they also let our schedule vary a little bit, mostly because we didn't have as many students attending as there would be during the normal school year. So it was really neat to kind of jump in and get my feet wet and almost be weaned into the regular school year as my first experience. So I loved it. I ended up really liking it. Of course, there are some things that I would do differently if I could go back. Who wouldn't? Hindsight's always 20/20, right? But overall, I had a great time and absolutely built some relationships with the rest of my colleagues and other teachers that I even have now. So I stayed at that school for 2 years in the same position, and I went from it was me and one other teacher in second grade, and then our numbers were really low the next year. This was like in a small town, so that wasn't shocking for them, but it was shocking for me because I was from somewhere that was much bigger, where we had 6 teachers per grade when I was in elementary school, and this school only had like 1 or 2 teachers per grade because the school was so small. So we went from having 2 second grade classes, and my first year of teaching, the other teacher decided that she was going to pursue a different career, and then we had a sub, but luckily that sub had been working in that school for a long time, so it kind of worked out in a way. And then the following year it was just me. So this is where my story gets a little crazy, and honestly, if it wasn't me, this wouldn't happen to anybody else. I'm just so lucky all the time. I ended up having my son my second year right into the second semester. So I was going to go on maternity leave, and it was going to be like Christmas break, but then my son came early. So I ended up actually leaving that teaching position because I needed to stay home with my son, and he was a preemie and had been in the hospital. So I just thought it was better for me to take that to make that decision than it would be to stay in the classroom and constantly be worried about my son and not really be focused on my students. And it was a really hard decision to make, but family comes first. So I went ahead and did that, and I ended up leaving that position. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit to the following school year. So my son had grown up a little, and I was jumping back into the teaching world, and I got hired at a public charter school for a STEAM position. So it was their first year having that position open, and it was the first time that they were going to be having that class as an elective. So they wanted me to really increase the art that I implemented into all of the STEAM areas because they didn't have an art class. And so it was going to be an art geared STEAM position. So about 2 weeks into this position, I was like, oh, this is something different, kind of cool. It was way different because I got to see all of the students from kindergarten through 6th because I was like an extra or specials class. So that was different than my first experience or even my student teaching, but I ended up liking it. And then the second week that I was in that position at that school, second week of the school year, we had a kindergarten teacher decide that she was going to leave for a different campus. So they pulled me in, and I thought I was in trouble, but the admin are like, look, you already know these kids. We're really confident in your, delivery and your classroom management. So we want you to move to this kindergarten class. And I was like, You guys are joking, right? Like, there's hidden cameras somewhere because this girl is not the kindergarten type. I don't have like the natural warm and fuzzy personality or characteristics. I was like in shock that they had asked me to do that, but I went ahead and took it on anyway, and I ended up absolutely loving it. I loved my team. I loved how easy our week was compared to what I was used to doing, and it was a blast, and I ended up really loving it. So I stayed in kindergarten at that campus for 2 years. So that year that they asked me to move, 2 weeks into the school year, unexpectedly, and then I did a full other year in kindergarten with my same team, and it was a blast. Looking back, like, that was my favorite time. And then at that same campus, I moved to an intervention position. And this is how I got where I am now. So now we're going to connect the dots, and it's going to be like my full circle of life here. Now, at the end of my second year of teaching kindergarten, I started to want to really involve myself in working with teachers at our campus. We didn't have a lot of options as far as support that was like always available. So a lot of the time we were encouraged to just ask your team or go on Pinterest. And those options are great, but they don't always help you apply a certain strategy or tool or tip to the situation that you're in, a specific area that you really need support in. So I found myself being that person for everyone else. I would always ask, do you want me to come up with something, create a resource, come and observe you? Do you want to come and observe me? We can have an aide go and watch your class, and you can, come and ask me all the questions that you want and see how I'm trying out this and how my students are loving and thriving from this idea that we came up with. And that was such my jam. I loved getting to work with teachers on my campus alone when they would have like a light bulb moment and be like, duh, I just had to flip the switch on this or implement this differently or work a little longer with this student in this certain area of need. And that just fueled me so much more because I saw a lot of myself in those teachers because they were taking the things that I was doing and applying them to their class. And eventually it was making such a difference and an impact on those students. So it was like rewarding to me, but that's what fills my cup, is helping other educators. I had gotten into the interventionist role, but I was still enjoying working with teachers more because I saw that that was such a need. And of course I wanted to help those students, but I saw such a greater return if I invested time in those teachers and really got down to the root of what they were struggling with and how I could just be there to support them and empower them and reassure them that yes, you should be in the classroom. Yes, this is your jam too. Yes, we can figure this out. And I think a lot of the time we need that reassurance as teachers. And I think educators thrive off of feeling that yes, what you're doing for your kids is exactly what they need. That is how they're going to connect all the dots. That's how they're going to be able to accomplish any of these tasks or meet those objectives that you've set for them. And that is really where my passion lies. So that's how I got to where I am now, and stepping away from the classroom completely so that I could pour all my time and energy and resources into building up other educators so that they can enjoy their time in the classroom and really make lasting memories with their students. I'm so glad that you watched this video today, and I really appreciate you being here. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see what I have coming at you next week, go ahead and subscribe. You can even click the bell to get notifications when I post a new video. If you're interested in working with me, all you have to do is go over to hijklearn.com, and all of my information is there. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I have something special for you. If you're interested in having a one-on-one coaching session with me, I'm giving away one session for free. All you have to do to enter is type the word teach in the comments below, and then go follow me on Instagram. It's HIJKLearn. Pretty easy, right? To find out if you've won, because that's where I'm going to be announcing the winner. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.